there, to be fair. He looks so different than normal.
That's right, and I thought we were going to get a shot there, actually, of the man sitting in the pit lane, who's Marco Morelli, number 95, because he has to start from the pit lane instead of the grid because he was running too slowly in practice, and it's his second time that he's been caught shooting. And but of course it's wet, isn't it? So, you know, I think there's every opportunity for these guys to make up time. I would, if you're going to have to start from the pit lane, there is our pole man, Yaroslav pushing. If you're going to have to start from the pit lane, pick a wet race to do it, I would say.
Yeah, a total 1, 2, 3. And then there's just so much time spent on the left-hand side of the tyre, Peter, isn't there?
Pushing, the 15-year-old from Kyrgyzstan, his first time in pole position. He said it does feel really special to be sitting on the pole position for my first Rookies Cup. He said that after qualifying. He's so happy. Go, Pushing gets it rolling well. Carter Thompson a little better. In fact, it's Carter Thompson that takes up the lead, but the 51 is there. It is our man Brian Uriarte who leads into the first corner, and you can see that dry line forming.
And a few riders, his race winning chances or anything like that. Big shame for Sully.
You ruined it. It's all your fault.
Yeah.
Right, we'll keep stopping. Right, 51 it is. Brian Uriarte that leads then. And let's just see what he can make of this. He's a thinking man here. I think he's got the intelligence. And there's number 5 of Ramos. Well. I cursed him then, didn't I?
Yeah, oh, goodness me.
Brian Uriarte, absolutely superb stuff here. He really is feeling his way absolutely brilliantly at the moment. 17 laps of Rookies Cup action, and Brian is going to try and make it his own.
The 13 up from 13th on the grid to 8th position. We have Hakim Danish battling with the Indonesian rider to complete that one.
And Brian, head down then, 16 laps remaining. Carter Thompson in second place, head down, trying to reason just how Brian is making this work so well for him. The track is drying out. Move there, I think he's up into 4th place. He doesn't want to see Brian disappear over the horizon.
So if there is a drying line forming then, Peter, are we going to see a big load of tyre wear towards the end of the race?
Yeah, we could indeed. I think we'll see even, but it certainly will factor into it. There is the number 7 of Benyat Fernandez in 3rd place. Carter Thompson chasing after Brian Uriarte ahead of him.
Some huge gaps in the lap times from just that first lap around, actually, Peter, already. You can really see the difference with riders that naturally the silly dilly, I would call him, after that one, but hopefully he learns from that this time around.
Right, out onto the start and finish to complete lap 2. Carter Thompson certainly going after Brian Uriarte, and Benyat Fernandez is towing the rest of the guys behind him. Veda Pratama is there as well, but it's up to Carter Thompson to chase Brian Uriarte.
The benchmark is a 1 minute.
First corner round wide, but he has made it stick now. I think he's up into 3rd place and going after Carter Thompson. He's relegated Benyat Fernandez to 4th on the number 7.
Imagine Pratama just going to be feeling his way into it, isn't he? More
by Carter Thompson. Superb stuff from the Australian.
Carter really want to make amends after a luckless Mugello, and it really was that. He got punted wide at the final corner, effectively crashed, and then seemingly had a mechanical issue in the second race, rather than an actual mechanical.
I think that's what it was.
A mechanical failure caused by another rider.
Yeah, caused by another rider, but as you say, equally luckless. Anyway, nothing to do with him. The number 7 of Benyat Fernandez going down the hill, chasing after Veda Pratama.
And this sort of track is so different in its nature, whether it's wet or dry, isn't it, compared to what else you go to?
Yeah, it is. It's all, as you say, you mentioned before, you know, all these corners that run together. The left-handers, we're coming towards the end of the left-hand of this climb here, and it's a lot steeper climb than you can see on the TV screen.
No! So we have a new leader then. It's Carter Thompson, the number 50. This is brilliant stuff from the Aussie.
And it's a good time to overtake. Don't hang about, because as a dry line forms, it actually makes overtaking more difficult, because you've got to go
in the back of the grid though, Peter, up to 11th place. That's very impressive from the Japanese rider.
Superb stuff, absolutely brilliant. So let's see. I wonder, what do you think Brian's thoughts are going to be now? Is he going to pass back as soon as he can, or is he going to sit there? I saw him look over his shoulder and see.
Now still 1.4 seconds back. They're going to cross the second intermediate now, and that the other riders, they're 1.4 again, if a little bit further back as well. So I think he can stick there for now, can't he?
It'd be interesting to see what the gap now is between Veda Pratama and the leading duo. At the moment, it's 1.5 seconds. You know, if the Tech Air suit decides that you're falling off, and there's somebody way off, Singapong off on the black stuff there. Was it actually Hakim Danish? I'm not sure. There's Hakim Danish, number 13. And he is down in 9th place. But say the airbag
Ben Spees, I'm not sure, but certainly looked up. I'm sure we can ask him after the races. We do have a changeover for 3rd place. Ramadeepa, the rider who actually won the European Talent Cup race last weekend, he will find himself in 3rd position now, fighting for the podium then. First one of Rookies Cup.
Ahead of the Mugello double winner, so they are.
We'll see what happens when once they come down the waterfall just through turn 11. We'll get the next intermediate split. It was actually 8 tenths of a second at the last one. Yeah. So what is it going to be now?
They're closing.
Closer, isn't it?
Yeah, they are closing. They are closing. Superb stuff.
Back all the points you can get. How about that? Up 9 places is Ramadeepa from the start of the race, Peter.
Superb stuff. And of course, as I said, Brian Uriarte had a big slide. That was a warning. So he knows that he's pushing the limits, but he's having a look up the inside of Carter Thompson there into the first right-hander. Backs out of it.
The order then, you've got Gonzalez in 5th place, Plonk in 6th, Benyat Fernandez 7th place, Singapore 8th, Danish, your series leader, in 9th at the moment. I think if he's not feeling too sure about things, that's probably a good enough finish, given how much he's got in hand.
As they get worn, as the track dries, and the tyres start to move around a bit more and make things feel a bit more horrible, even if they are still offering good grip.
Benyat Fernandez quite wide there. Maybe his airbag didn't go off and he's just been a bit more elbows out, so there we go. He is leading the way, takes the strip off the radiator. Thompson fighting still for 2nd spot with Ramadeepa. That dry line well and truly formed in the braking zone now. Pratama
doesn't want it to be a 4-man battle over the last couple of laps.
Tell you one rider I thought was going to be a bit of a heavier feature in this race. Your pole position Sinterkant pushing down in 14th place, battling just for points now, unfortunately for him. He'll be praying for a dry race at the end of play tomorrow.
Brian closes the door.
Yeah, absolutely slams it shut. A little bit of a twitch there as he comes out of that corner, flicks it right into the waterfall, plunges down it. You cannot believe how steep it is here. You know when something's so steep when you're walking down it, you can't help but start a little bit
later, and Ramadeepa had to back out of it.
This is absolutely quality, a dead heat over the line, it looks. Wow, yeah, it was Uriarte 12 thousandths of a second separating the two of them. That time around, we have a 4-way fight for the lead, or do we, Peter? Because Gonzalez set a lap there.
Because of the dry line in some places, they want to overtake. They get in the way of each other a little bit. They, you know, who's going to go on the wet stuff? Who needs to take the dry? And that's really giving it. And we've got another. Oh dear, that is the end of Marco Morelli's race. He was nowhere either. You know, he started.
That is going to give him a bit less of an advantage. Ramadeepa, though, looking quite strong at the moment. Thompson very wide. Is he just trying to keep to the wetter part?
He could, you know, he's already thinking in those terms. Yeah, it is really a broad, dry line down here, and certainly with you know, 8 laps and a few corners to go to complete another lap. Just 8 remaining.
Over the line we go then. So there we have Pratama side by side with Uriarte. That is as close as you like, and pushes him wide. Pratama, he loves to get it. It'd be a 3rd in a row, but with a different rider here today. They must be on their feet. It will make front page news if they were to get a 1-2
The social channels would go absolutely mad, won't they? Absolutely mad. Fantastic stuff. And he's pulling away. Ramadeepa's pulling away. Now, Veda
flailing with the competition out there. Not too sure. We'll have to ask him after the race, because it looks like people are the pace is slowing compared to what it was, so it could just be that tyre wear really coming in now, Peter.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because the dry line is forming, so the track is getting far. Oh, and look you can see the bike moving around now as that tyre wear affects the stability as well. You know, it looks worse than it is. It's not making the bikes unstable at all, but it just, you know, you can see it moving around. The carcass is getting very, very warm, and they really should be looking
for the next 7 laps or so in 15th.
And Pratama moving around big time as he came over the hill there and down. Those tyres certainly getting up to a very serious temperature now.
Tell you what, DM Block absolutely on a roll here, whether it's wet or dry.
Very useful. He's got a handy points lead. He really doesn't need to do anything silly here, especially with Brian Uriarte not leading this. He's back in 3rd place.
There he is, just in the middle of our screens ahead of Singapore. Tie rider and going neck and neck through towards the final corner. Singapore looking behind him, he's going to see Zebin. Yeah, you got Dinesh just outbreaking the guys there in towards turn 1, going a bit wide, but how wide is he? Just cutting a different line. I think he'll find himself on the inside in towards turn 2. Very nicely done from Hakim.
And Planck, the fastest man on the track that time. It's completely dry there as they tip it left and go down and onto a damp part of tarmac, but even that is drying out very quickly. For the last 3 or 4 laps, it's going to be dry almost all the way around here. There is the 13 of cup points leader, Hakim Danish.
I tell you what, though, Plonk just set the fastest lap of the whole race so far.
The way he went past Veda Pratama, the double winner from Mugello, is absolutely superb. But there is the 24 of Guillaume Planck.
He is looking for his first podium in Rookies Cup, the Frenchman. Absolutely on one here. What's his lap time going to be as they cross the line? Pramadipa's got a second advantage that time around.
Remaining.
Something happened to Dinesh that time around, Peter, because he's been pushed all the way back to 10th spot now. So there we have it. It is all changed in the closing stages of this race.
And he's got to keep it upright, Hakim. He just needs a few points here. He doesn't need to do anything silly at all. And you're looking back from Brian Uriarte at the
zone. You got to hand it to him. Pramadipa out front with a second's gap still, Peter. What a ride this is from our first-year Indonesian rider.
And Guillaume's really got to keep the ball rolling here. He's got to keep that momentum. He needs to get past Brian Uriarte. He's not Brian, of course, not an easy
line. It will be 4 laps to go. Normally at this point things are getting hectic with a big old group, but no, it is the high-speed game of chess. Away we go then. Personal best lap that time around for Uriarte, 140.7. He's really turned a screw. He wants to keep Plonk at bay. The victory mile.
Second, he's got a second to make up on Pramadipa, but he is absolutely trying everything. Brian Uriarte will have seen that slide as well as they go downhill. Will Brian hang on to second, or is Guillaume going to go past him?
In terms of the championship, Dinesh is out of any sort of running for anything better than 10th.
Veda Ega Pratama kokoh di 3 besar klasemen RBRC 2025 usai Sansenring. Konsistensi pembalap muda Indonesia terbukti. Sansenring, Jerman, bendera merah putih kembali berkibar di ajang balap motor internasional. Pembalap muda Indonesia, Veda Ega Pratama, sukses menjaga posisinya di 3 besar klasemen sementara Red Bull Rookies Cup RBRC 2025 setelah menyelesaikan balapan di Sansenring dengan hasil yang solid. Meskipun belum berhasil meraih podium, Veda tampil konsisten dan tetap bertahan di papan atas klasemen, membuktikan bahwa dirinya adalah salah satu talenta paling diperhitungkan di ajang ini. Dalam race 1 seri Sansenring yang berlangsung Sabtu 12 Juli, Veda start dari posisi ke-7. Trek Sansenring yang terkenal sempit dan berkarakter teknikal jelas bukan tantangan mudah, terlebih bagi pebalap muda yang baru beberapa musim mencicipi persaingan Eropa. Namun, Veda justru menunjukkan perkembangan pesat dalam hal ketenangan dan strategi balap. Sejak start, Veda langsung berusaha masuk ke grup depan. Ia sukses menyalip dua pesaing utamanya, Brian Uriarte dan Guillem Planquez, di pertengahan balapan. Di lap-lap akhir, Veda sempat berada di posisi ketiga dan bersaing ketat untuk mempertahankan podium. Namun sayangnya, pada dua lap terakhir, ia kehilangan sedikit grip dan harus rela turun ke posisi keempat hingga garis finish. Meski begitu, tambahan 13 poin dari hasil finish keempat ini sangat berarti bagi Veda. Ia tetap mengamankan peringkat ketiga klasemen sementara RBRC 2025, tetap menjaga jarak dari dua rival utamanya, Hakim Danish dari Malaysia dan Brian Uriarte dari Spanyol. Dengan beberapa seri tersisa, kans Veda untuk merebut posisi lebih tinggi di klasemen masih terbuka lebar. Yang membuat catatan ini semakin istimewa adalah konsistensi Veda sepanjang musim 2025. Sebelumnya, di seri Mugello, Italia, Veda sukses mencetak 2 kemenangan berturut-turut. Kemenangan di Mugello itulah yang mengangkat namanya dan membuat dunia balap mulai melirik lebih serius bakat dari Indonesia ini. Momentum Mugello terbukti tidak berhenti begitu saja, karena di Sansenring pun ia tetap tampil kuat walau belum podium. Selain soal hasil, performa Veda di Sansenring juga menunjukkan kematangan dari sisi strategi balapan. Sansenring dikenal sebagai sirkuit yang penuh dengan tikungan kiri tajam dan elevasi naik turun. Selain membutuhkan teknik mumpuni, sirkuit ini juga menguji stamina dan konsentrasi pebalap. Veda terlihat sangat fokus, tidak gegabah mengambil risiko berlebih, dan memilih menyerang hanya saat benar-benar siap. Balapan itu sendiri diwarnai duel sengit antara Brian Uriarte, Marco Morelli, dan Hakim Danish. Namun, Veda tetap berhasil menjaga posisinya di grup depan, membuktikan bahwa dirinya mampu bersaing melawan nama-nama besar yang lebih dulu berkiprah di Eropa. Walaupun di lap-lap terakhir harus mengalah dalam duel melawan Uriarte dan Planquez, Veda tetap keluar sebagai salah satu pebalap paling menonjol hari itu. Tim Veda dan para pelatihnya tentu mencatat hal-hal penting dari balapan Sansenring ini. Salah satunya adalah soal posisi start. Memulai dari barisan tengah jelas membuat balapan lebih sulit, apalagi di trek seketat Sansenring. Evaluasi dari sisi kualifikasi dan setting motor jadi fokus utama mereka sebelum menghadapi dua seri berikutnya. RBRC 2025 sendiri masih menyisakan dua seri penting di Red Bull Ring, Austria, dan Misano, Italia. Dua sirkuit itu dikenal sangat teknikal dan cepat, namun juga cocok dengan gaya balap Veda yang agresif dan rapi di tikungan. Timnya optimistis Veda masih bisa menambah koleksi podium dan mungkin saja merangsek ke posisi dua besar klasemen. Prestasi Veda Ega Pratama ini jelas menjadi kebanggaan tersendiri bagi dunia balap motor Indonesia. Di tengah persaingan ketat dan level kompetisi yang tinggi, Veda mampu menjaga konsistensi dan tampil bersaing di papan atas. Ini menjadi sinyal positif bahwa talenta Indonesia tak kalah dari pebalap muda dari Eropa maupun Asia lainnya. Dengan sisa musim yang masih terbuka dan performa yang terus menanjak, harapan besar disematkan pada Veda Ega Pratama. Publik Indonesia tentu berharap Veda bisa mengukir sejarah baru di RBRC 2025 dan melanjutkan langkahnya menuju jenjang yang lebih tinggi lagi di dunia balap internasional. Dukungan dan doa dari tanah air pun terus mengalir, menanti gebrakan berikutnya dari sang bintang muda di lintasan.